going on, everyone? We are back. The has-beens, we are back. I'm your host, Matt Burton.
I'm Braden Laura.
And today, we're going to talk to you guys about a little March Madness going on. As you can see, I'm still repping the Duke Blue Devils, even though there were some questionable, just one questionable charge call. Well, not a charge. It was a block.
No, it was a block, but...
It was a block, but, it's okay.
We know the truth.
It's okay. You can go watch it for yourself. But whatever. I'm not mad about it at all. Not mad.
He's not mad because he knows Duke can reload, but when you lose like that,
it's always tough.
It's been a great year for refs all across sports.
Really has.
I mean, usually refs they dictate a lot of games, but this year especially basketball, college basketball, NBA, it's been rough.
Definitely. But the star of the tournament, Sister Jean and the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. Like we all predicted back in October.
Exactly.
So everyone who's not Michigan, Kansas, or Villanova, I think we're all in agreement here that we're Loyola fans.
Yeah,
from here on out.
We're rocking the maroon and gold.
We are the Gryffindor scarves.
Yeah,
yes, we're rocking
if Loyola wins, I might have to buy a shirt.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's how much I want them to win. This will be the greatest 30 for 30. Well, not the greatest, but it'll be a great 30 for 30. Okay. And Sister Jean might live another 10 years if they win a title.
I think so too. But no, it's a great Cinderella run, just like VCU a couple years back, and then George Mason way back.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always fun, the Cinderella stories. But their first two games, Miami and then Tennessee, close games. They make buzzer beaters, and then take on K-State.
Mighty Wildcats.
They just ran through the Wildcats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome to see. They obviously don't have the recruits of like Kentucky or Duke or any of these guys, but it's nice to see them, just play as a team, just well coached. And they only lost 5 games all year. So, I mean, they know how to win, and it's showing. Yeah,
that was the first game I saw them play was Kansas State. I didn't watch their other first 2-round games. But I watched that Kansas State game, and it seems like even after halftime, when a lot of the times when you're like a big lead like they were, you can kind of you can kind of falter a little bit, especially when you're playing a team like Kansas State. It's supposed to be from the best conference and have the best players. And so I'm like, okay, Kansas State's probably going to make a push and come back. But even though Kansas State stepped up their scoring a little bit, like Loyola could not, like they were making everything. Like their offense was really, really good. Like they looked like they had a legit playbook for every situation. And their defense started like really shutting down Kansas State. And I mean, being in Big 12 country, we know how good Big 12 teams are. And even though Kansas State was kind of middle of the pack in the Big 12, like that's a solid team for you to just dominate like that.
Exactly. And plus K-State had just come off beating Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were playing good. They didn't have Dean Wade, one of their top players, but they still. I mean,
it might not have mattered. Honestly, it might not have mattered.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're in the Elite Eight. You're there for a reason. So it's just, it's good to see Loyola do that. On the other side, Michigan, or same side, but just down, Michigan. Just kind of run away with that division there, with their side of the bracket.
What's been going on in Michigan the last 3 to 5 years? There's like a kind of a habit now.
John Beilein's a heck of a coach.
Yeah.
I will say that. John Beilein, you never hear any recruiting violation, anything like that. Even from his time at West Virginia. I mean, he always had good teams there. Remember Kevin Pittsnoggle? Who can forget Kevin Pittsnoggle? I mean, Alex Ruoff, a couple guys just from those West Virginia teams that all they do, they're always going to be good at shooting.
Mm-hmm.
They're always going to just run their offense and run you ragged. And and you see it again. John Beilein's just a heck of a coach.
I remember, so when the tournament came around, like you're making our bracket picks, I didn't watch any Michigan this year. If anything, I watched more Michigan State. But I was like, I wonder what Michigan's record even is, and they only lost 7 games.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good, especially even the Big Ten's not a bad conference. And but I remember last year they were kind of bubble team, maybe off the bubble, and they made that run in the Big Ten tournament. And OSU played in the first round, and they looked amazing. Yeah. And they've been that quiet team lately that I don't know why I always have them lose, but I'm going to have to stop doing that. I'm going to
Right,
have to start having them go on to the Elite Eight.
They've done it 2 years in a row. They've made runs and then won the Big Ten tournament, and then make runs in the actual tournament. I mean, 2 years in a row. John Beilein's a heck of a coach. I just chalk it up to that. I mean, they're always going to come. They're always going to play hard. They're always going to play pretty good defense, and they got everyone 1 through 5 is going to be able to shoot it from the outside. That's just John Beilein. That's the way he recruits and the way he coaches.
Yeah, it seems like they always start off like at the beginning of the year, like out of conference. No one's really ever high on them. You never really see them ranked in the top 10. And then, but by the time tournaments come around, that's when they make their push, and that's when they look amazing. And that's how you do it. That's how you time it right in college basketball.
Definitely. And then the team I think everyone's been most impressed with is Villanova. I mean, just ran through their side of the bracket. Beat a couple Big 12 teams along the way, West Virginia and Tech. And, I mean, two of the top of the Big 12 teams. And even though Tech, Keenan Evans was playing with a broken toe, which I don't know how you even do that, but props to him for doing it. But, I mean, they've kind of made it look easy, honestly.
Yeah, what did they put up, like 95 on West Virginia? On Press Virginia?
Press Virginia, yeah.
That's insane. I don't even... and I thought the thing was like after that championship team a couple years ago, it's supposed to kind of die down now. I mean, you always know Jay Wright's a good coach, but going into this year, I always saw them hover around like 1 or 2 or 3. I was like, I don't know, but I put them as the favorite right now, especially with Kansas not having the big man, the center.
Yeah, as Vicky.
And Villanova has a couple of big guys that can do whatever they want down there. Exactly.
So I tweeted this a couple days ago. I'm such a huge Jay Wright fan. So like whatever Villanova's paying him is not enough because he is such a good coach. I mean, he has good recruiting classes, but it's not like the Kentucky, Duke, Carolina, Kansas recruiting class. Like it's not like that. It's probably top 10s, but it's not anything like the upper echelon, like the classic blue bloods.
Yeah.
So I mean, just him doing that and just the way they play. I think whatever they're paying him is not enough.
Just the amount of like marketing he brings to Villanova, because if they didn't have basketball, you would never hear about Villanova. I mean, it's a great school, but you just wouldn't hear about it. And he kind of reminds me of like, he's obviously better, but I was gonna say Chris Peterson of Boise State
for sure,
because he's actually Wright's actually won a title, but it's like Chris Peterson, you bring in all these 2-3 stars from Idaho, Washington, California, and Jay Wright's bringing them from like the Northeast, East area, and they're not afraid to play anybody.
No.
And they'll beat anybody. And I think I looked up his like coaching record, and he has not lost. I think in the past like 5 or 6 seasons, he's not lost more than 5 or 6 games a year.
That's just crazy to me. But
and he's insane, and he probably has way more years in him.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like now that they got that first title out of the way and might have a second one coming up,
good.
He has a chance to add a couple more too.
They're probably they're the favorite right now. They have to be. So, and I think just kind of switching gears here, whoever wins out of them in Kansas, I think is obviously the favorite. Both 1 seeds and all that stuff, and Kansas hasn't really been, I wouldn't say rolling, but I mean they're battle tested and played in the Big 12, one of the best conferences in college basketball. And everyone said Kansas. This is the worst Kansas team in their run.
The year the streak ends,
they
don't win the title.
Then what do? They do what they always do. Yeah. Just flat out win.
And win by like 2 or 3 games in the standings.
Yeah.
And they were down like 2 games with 3 or 4 weeks left.
Yeah, before Keenan Evans got hurt for Tech.
That's insane.
Then he got hurt and kind of overtook it, or else Tech may have ended the streak. But Bill Self, this might have been one of his best coaching jobs, simply because, that team's not that deep. They don't bring a whole lot of people off the bench. They maybe play 7 guys.
Devontae Graham might be the most conditioned basketball player.
Yeah, without a doubt. The dude's an absolute gamer. Yeah. He's an absolute gamer, and whenever lights are on, moments big, Devontae Graham's going to step up and deliver. He always has, and I'm a huge fan of Svi Mikhailuk. To the guy that hit the shot to tie it at the end of regulation against Duke. He can shoot, and he's athletic too. And then Malik Newman is really, 32 against Duke, averages 13 a game all year, and then goes off for 32. But I mean, Malik Newman was a guy that was top 10 player coming out of high school, went to Mississippi State, then kind of just didn't work out there and transferred to Kansas. And I mean, this second half of the season, he's just kind of blown up.
That's what Self does. He obviously Self is going to get 5 stars, but he also takes guys that nobody else would really want as much. Because wasn't Devontae Graham, wasn't he like unknown from like Florida or something? I think I heard that he wasn't that 5-star recruit, and he was committed to another school and somehow ends up in Kansas and sat behind Frank Mason for 3 years, and then now look at him. Now he's playing 40 minutes a game and
might be player of the year too.
Yeah, might be player of the year. I think with Trey, the thing with Trae Young about him being Big 12 Player of the Year is I definitely could have seen that. But if anybody was not, if it wasn't going to be Trae Young, it had to be Devontae Graham, because when you take 6 or 7 players on a KU team that's supposed to be down and you win your conference by 2 games, in the year the Big 12 was really, really good. Exactly. That's insane.
Exactly. So yeah, Kansas. I definitely think. I mean, it's not a real stretch here, but whoever wins out of those 2 will definitely be the favorite to win it. Mm-hmm. But go Loyola. I'm just saying, go Loyola. Kind of moving on, sticking with basketball, but NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, probably the most frustrating team I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah.
The past 2 games against the Celtics, whatever night that was, I can't remember what night it was. That's how far removed from that game I am. And then, then last night against the Blazers. I mean, just poorly executed, to say the least, down the stretch. But yeah, against the Celtics, I mean, they're a good team, but without Kyrie, no Jaylen Brown, no Marcus Smart, you have to get that one, and especially close it out. You have to close that one out, and that's the second time we haven't closed it out against the Celtics this year.
And it probably approximately like the 50th time in the last 2 years where we haven't just closed out a game we should have.
Yeah.
I'm with you. This was definitely the most frustrating team I've ever watched. And I don't get it. I'm not like smart enough to figure out what the problem is. Sometimes it just seems like it's just effort.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know what the deal is. I love Russ, and there's no doubt that he's one of the hardest working players, but at times, like, his, like, lack of care, and then Melo's, and then it's just frustrating to see. And it's weird because this team is still hovering around like the 3 to 5 seed, which is before the year. If you would have said, Oklahoma City would be a 3 or 4 seed, you're like, that sounds about right. But I didn't think we'd get there like this. I didn't think it'd be because the West would like cannibalize itself. I'm nervous for the playoffs though.
I am too.
Very nervous. Like,
I am too, especially since we're probably more than likely, especially after we lost to the Blazers last night, more than likely in that 4 or 5 game in the first round, which means if we win that, you got Houston in the next round, and I don't like to look at that.
I don't know. I know people like kind of look at the wins against the Warriors and the Spurs and the one win against Houston of what they can do, but that's just it. That's just like, that's only what they can do. That's not what they do.
Yeah.
Maybe, it's like cool. It's cool that you win those games, but it would be even better if we didn't get swept by Minnesota, if we didn't get swept by the Trailblazers, if we didn't, have these close games against the Kings and the Suns and like the Hawks.
Exactly. And like lose games against the Suns and the Kings and all these games.
If this team played with effort and any kind of drive, we'd be in the 3, like comfortably in the 3 seed right now.
Exactly. No, effort is definitely a big thing. I mean, you watch Russell Westbrook. I've never wanted to see a player like play defense for real more than Russell Westbrook, because he takes a lot of time off on defense.
And we know he can because he's former Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
and exactly. we see it whenever he like wants to stop somebody, he tries.
Exactly. Like if he gets mad, if someone's like starts talking to him, he'll lock up for a couple of possessions. But that's about it.
If he played Reggie Jackson 82 games a year, he'd be by far the best defensive season ever. But it's frustrating, and but it's not helping. Every time I look at the stat lines, it seems like Melo is like 3 for 12 every night.
It's bad. Yeah,
it seems like he's not shooting. He's not ever going to shoot 50% in a game again.
Yeah, Melo and PG the past 2 games are 0 for 22.
Oh, I did not know that.
0 for 22.
That's why we got them. Well, I mean, we got PG for more, but that's why we got Melo to make those shots.
But whatever. It's a slump, so I'm not worried about it. But it's a bad time to be slumping.
You know who would make those shots? Dougie McBuckets.
And
maybe even Ennis. Ennis might have probably made some.
We should have traded him and Oladipo and Sabonis.
Hindsight is 2020, but
it's Can we trade back? Can we take backs?
Yeah, or just take Melo back.
Yeah. I kind of like Paul.
I think Steven Adams though. That's a bright spot.
Definitely.
I like.
I just wish he'd get more touches, but he's not that kind of guy that's gonna demand touches.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not that type of personality. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna have the Hakeem moves either. But
he's not that type of personality to go up to Russ and be like, "Hey, I need the ball."
Listen here, mate.
Listen here, mate. Yeah, Squire.
So do we make it out of the first round then? Assuming we make it, I mean, we also could not make the
That's
playoffs.
very true. We could lose the rest of our games.
If you lose 3 straight games, you might be in the 8th.
Because we do have the toughest remaining schedule. So
And let's not forget, Kawhi will be back eventually.
Yeah.
So all these teams that are kind of messing around like us, we better get it together because once Kawhi gets back and he gets going, which I think he will, it's Kawhi. That's another team. The Spurs are always dangerous.
Definitely.
And with Kawhi, they're up there, I think, with Golden State and Houston.
Definitely. And just a missed opportunity last night, too, against the Blazers because we could have been the same amount of games back from Golden State and Houston as the Trailblazers, but we would have had more games played than them.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have set us up maybe to kind of overtake that 3 spot and to where maybe we could play Golden State in the second round instead of Houston, but because we don't know if Steph Curry's going to be healthy. So I'd rather take on a Steph Curry-less Warriors team than the Rockets.
And even though I said that you don't want to put all your stock in how we've only played against Golden State, we have done. I mean, we've shown we can play with them.
Yeah.
Even when we killed them in one game without Roberson. So, and I think it's it's no lie that Russ should be more invested in that than he would a Houston series.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas him and KD have that history, and him and Harden more kind of buddy off the court. So, well, going into the year, I thought we'd be 2 or 3. I didn't think the Rockets would be this good.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't either.
I was like, I laughed at that trade. Yeah. I mean, this is stupid.
Because James Harden had just finished second in the MVP voting, being their point guard, and they were like, "Where do we need to improve?" Probably point guard.
Probably point guard. Yeah. And now they have one of the best offenses ever.
Yeah. So
and they kind of have a defense now, which I thought we had a defense, but.
Yeah, kind of missed on that one. Them picking up PJ Tucker was huge too because he's obviously all about defense. Trevor Reeves is obviously all about defense. So, I mean, the Rockets, that's scary.
Capella's getting really, really good.
That's scary. Mm-hmm. They're a scary team for sure. But yeah, that's about all my thoughts on the Thunder.
Yeah, PG, just stay. Just stay.
Just stay.
Just don't leave. Don't go to Lakers.
If we could somehow,
I don't care what Melo does.
If we could somehow get Melo to opt out, which is never gonna happen. He's gonna opt
Isn't he owed
he's gonna
23 or
28.
something? 28.
Yeah. So get ready for year 2 of Carmelo, guys, because he's not saying no to $28 million.
I just picture
because if he does, he's not getting $28 million from anyone else.
I just picture him at Sam Presti's desk, and Presti just slides like a piece of paper. Opt out.
Just opt out here real quick. You just cut a hole. You have the opt-out thing underneath the opt-in paper, but you cut the hole, so he signs signs the opt-out one. But he thinks you signed it. Sorry. That's what we need to do with Carmelo. Just opt out and then re-sign him. You can re-sign him, but he's like $9-10 million a year.
I saw a tweet today. I don't know who tweeted it, so shout out whoever did, but it's it said y'all saw Melo wear a hoodie in a couple pickup games this summer. Thought he was going to win MVP.
He was going to be MVP.
Oh,
That's amazing.
I fell for that. I was like, he looks good this summer. He's out there with LeBron and KD.
I mean, he was playing against NBA guys. Russman played. Cantor went and played. I
was like, yeah, we're going to be.
But yeah, we just need to get. We need to write a petition to Adam Silver to get Melo to wear a hoodie during games.
Yeah. And also, shout out Corey Brewer because that's been a great pickup.
Is he the best free agent signing of all time in NBA history? Who says no? Who says no? Who says no?
I'd be hard pressed to find anybody else that would even compare.
Who says no? Buyout guy. Best buyout guy of all time, I think.
Averaging 3 minutes a game with the Lakers. What are you doing, LA?
Exactly. Who says no? Wow, LA's so stupid.
You'd be a 2 seed right now.
He's starting with us.
But
he's producing.
We'll take him. We're all about those former college coach and player mashups.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So Bradley Beal, come on.
Yeah, come on.
But no, moving on. Opening day. Coming right up. Was it 4 days away?
The 29th. I think.
The 29th. Oh, I love it. It's about that time of year again. I get to watch my Braves be awful again.
But with more potential than they had last year.
But with more potential.
That farm system is great.
They do have a lot of prospects now. Trading all your best players for prospects. Hey, let's see if it works out.
As a Cubs fan, that's how you do it. I know how that works.
Exactly.
You trade Alfonso Soriano. You trade. Well, we didn't even have a whole bunch of stars in the first place, but that's how you do it right there.
Exactly. But no, Cubs looking good. Sign you Darvish, and he's not even going to be on your top three pitchers.
Yeah, not even one of the top ones. I'm excited. Last year I picked us to win the World Series because like we just won it this year. Young talent,
like the same.
I don't know what happened. Arrieta kind of fell off. But we got rid of him. I love Arrieta. I hope he does really well. But it's good to see that we didn't like panic when there was no reason to. But they were like, okay, let's just Arrieta's gone. We got you, Darvish. We got all our core guys we've had for 4 years now. Like, just go play. So it's. I mean, I definitely understand that the Astros would be the favorite. I think I would pick them too, but to see the Cubs are probably definitely the top, 3 odds. I think it's Astros, maybe the Indians.
Indians are too. Yeah. I feel like the Yankees will be a trendy pick, but it just depends on their pitching. I don't know.
That hitting
though. Yeah, that'll keep them in some games. They'll lead the league in home runs, but also strikeouts. So they will definitely lead the league in strikeouts. I know all too well from having a lineup of all power hitters with the Braves, with like the Upton brothers and all these guys.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, that we led the league in strikeouts, but we were up there in home runs too. So
listen,
that's fine.
On Triple Play Baseball, I used to set it so I can make any trade I want. I had Sammy Sosa, had Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey, and it worked out well in that case. So
exactly. Who knows? Maybe it'll work out.
You just got to get a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Get a bunch of Hall of Famers, put them in your lineup.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Not Hall of Famers, but steroids.
But
steroids is what you need.
Just get some steroids. Just get some steroids for you guys. Whatever. It's okay. But, that'll definitely be a fun team to watch. But who hits for average anymore? You don't want to do that. Trying to hit for chicks dig the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball. Exactly. Dude.
That's exactly. I mean, that's what average is. It's average.
It's average.
We're trying to get above average.
Exactly. Trying to hit some home runs here.
Some moonshots.
Okay. Exactly. No. But yeah. So quick, way too early pick. Who's in your World Series?
Okay.
Cubs.
I'm gonna say Cubs. The only contender. Well, I think the Nationals are safely kind of dropped off now. They fired. They fired or they quit? Dusty Baker? He resigned? I don't know. He's gone.
He's gone.
They still have one of the top 5 players in Bryce Harper, soon to be Cub next year. Just get that out of the way.
Yeah. We're calling it now.
So the only other ones I would be worried about is, sneaky pick would be the Brewers. Yep. They're going to be pretty good. But obviously the Dodgers, they, great pitching. I would say the Giants, even year. But Bumgarner, I feel bad because I love watching. And the Shark, what's his name? The other pitcher. Used to play on the Cubs. I'm terrible right now. Long hair.
I'm sorry.
The Notre Dame tight end.
I'm blanking too. Smartjo.
Yeah, I don't know why I can think of it. He's hurt. So I'd say Cubs kind of have an easier path now. Even if those players get back, they might have dug themselves like a hole. So I'll say Cubs in the NL. And AL, that's tough. I want to say Astros, but I really want a Cubs Indians Part 2.
I wanted to say that too.
Part 2.
I wanted to say that too. So I will go. I'll go Cubs. Just because, like you said, I don't think the NL East won't be very, very good. I don't think the Washington might drop off, but you see, Sports Illustrated picked them to win it for like 3 of like the past 6 years. The Nationals. So I really feel like they're just phoning it in at this point. There's who did we pick last year? Just the Nationals. But no attitude. Even though I do think that they'll win the NL East. Just depends on what the Mets. The Mets, I think, are the only contender. The Phillies, the Braves, and the Marlins are awful. Marlins
are going to
be the worst team.
It's going to be one for the books to see how bad they are.
Exactly. So I'm happy that the Braves won't finish last in their division again. But yeah, right. Right. Watch the Marlins just pull off some crazy trade. Just get great in the middle of the year.
One trade that pays off.
Okay, well, great. There's my Braves thing. So yeah, no, I'm gonna go Cubs, and let's see. I don't want to be trendy and pick the Yankees.
Red Sox will be good.
The Red Sox will be good. Let's go. Yeah.
Red Sox.
Let's go. Let's go Cubs. Red Sox. God, that'd be such a great Fenway and Wrigley. Fenway and Wrigley.
That's how baseball. That's what we were supposed to get in 2003 before some Houdini stuff went down.
Yep.
But that Red Sox, Chris Sale, he's not underrated by any means, but I still feel like he's underrated.
Yeah.
Because Kershaw gets the hype that should be shared with Sale. Sale's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always the guy on MLB The Show I could hit the least.
Right.
So
okay,
fun
there
fact.
You go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good in video games and real life.
Exactly. Well, this brings us to our favorite segment to do. That is some type of way.
I drop top of my wheel, that car driving make you feel some type of way. I know you do. That custom brightly make you feel some type of way.
So, Braden, what's got you feeling some type of way?
Okay, well, as has been established in the past, OSU fan. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel like we should have been in the tournament, not the NIT tournament, like the big dance,
the
NCAA
March
tournament.
Gladness, the real March.
I feel like we were one of the top 64 teams in the country, and I can see the argument for why not. I don't really understand RPI. I say there you go. I don't understand it, but RPI I know would have been like the worst of any at-large team to ever get in. But I feel like if you took our resume, but say it was like translated to like a Syracuse, or if it was like a more of a blue blood or traditional program, they would have got in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It sucks because I feel like we did it to ourselves. I mean, we blew some games, but at the same time, we won at West Virginia. We won at Kansas, which no Big 12 team has won at both those places. We beat Kansas at home, first time Kansas has been swept since 2001. We beat OU, who was at the time 4. And then in our non-conference, we beat Florida State, which ended up being a good win.
Mm-hmm.
We kept it close with Wichita State. Like, there were some bad losses, don't get me wrong, but we were in the Big 12. We were competitive in the Big 12. We were in like that weird 6-9 tie where everyone had like a losing record, but it was kind of up there. And I feel like if you sweep Kansas, if you beat West Virginia, if you beat Tech, if you beat OU, I feel like that should count for something. And to see that we weren't even in the first four out.
First four out, yeah.
I was like, what? And not only that, and it's not even to hate on OU, but that's just kind of always felt like when it was all said and done at the end of the year, OU and OSU are kind of similar.
Yeah.
And just given the resume and their records. So I was like, well, if one gets in, the other should get in. If one is left out, then they both should. They have to be treated equally. So to see that OU was comfortably in, and we weren't even closely out, that had me feeling some type of way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely see that. It's just weird because OU wasn't even in the last 4 in, and then OSU wasn't even in the first 4 out. Like, that to me obviously just didn't make any sense. And I feel like the committee doesn't take in how the team is playing right now, which I feel like they should, because OSU is playing great.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, get that win over Kansas, and then couldn't beat them in the Big 12 tournament, but still, you've beaten them twice. You went on a great run at the end of Big 12 play, and OU hadn't won a road game in
the whole year, calendar year.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's easy to say what have you done for me lately, but I feel like sometimes, especially in tournament play, you should take that into account. If a team's hot, right,
Absolutely.
Going into the tournament, I feel like that's who you should want in your tournament.
And I during one of the broadcasts where OSU was playing, they mentioned something about how in the past, committee members had kind of done that. They looked at the last 10 games, but they went away from it, like starting last year. Like they tried their best to not do that, but I don't see how you don't. I mean, college football does it, and I think it's how you should do it. Yeah. Not that the games don't count at the beginning, because they do, but if you schedule, which OSU could have scheduled a little bit better, but if you schedule these teams at the beginning, and say you beat the bad ones or you lose to the good ones, but then you come to conference play, which everything just gets ramped up in conference play. Like that's on a whole nother level. And you do well over your last month, and I think that should be accounted for, because that's the kind of product you want to see in the tournament. And it was. I thought they'd get in. All right, so when I saw it didn't pop up, when I saw OU pop up first, I'm like, okay, cool. Like we're in this thing. And I saw, I was like, oh, okay, all right, well. That sucks.
Yeah. But, no, I definitely think OSU should have been in. Do not think OU should have been in. Just, I mean, you can't lose all your road games in that the calendar year. Before
yeah, that's another thing is apparently one of the boards on the committee. He said he was quoted as saying, he's like, yeah, we take into account more for the road wins than home wins.
Yeah, and
which
have a whole lot of this.
Yeah, which I mean, again, I can't be too mad because OSU should have won more at home, should have done certain things better, but it's like given what did happen, I just feel like that win at Kansas, the win at home against Kansas at West Virginia, that just would wipe out at least a few of the bad losses. But
for sure,
who knows?
For sure. Well, it's got me feeling some type of way. What is a charge? What is it? Like, let's define this. Let's define this. If you're standing outside of the semicircle before the guy jumps, and he jumps into you, and you go down.
Sounds like a block, though. I mean,
no, it doesn't sound like a block.
Well,
it sounds like
say
a charge.
that, but I saw on TV, so.
Yeah, I'm not talking about any specific game.
Oh.
But let's say let's shoot a couple say Kansas and Duke are playing, and Duke, let's say big guy, Wendell Carter Jr. Goes to take a charge, and he's outside of the semicircle, and he's standing there, and random Kansas player Malik Newman. Let's say Malik Newman goes up, and hypothetically just kind of runs right over him, jumps right into his chest, and he falls, and he's standing still before Carter's standing still before Newman jumps. This is all hypothetical, by the way. And he just knocks him over and then lays it up, I feel like that should be a charge all day, every day. But that's fine.
Wait, so hold on, you're saying the refs would get a call wrong?
Yeah,
the refs that get paid.
But the ref called that a block. This is just going on in my head. It's hypothetical, obviously, but the ref called it a block.
Okay.
In the game, and let's say it's to go to the Final Four.
Well, I don't know.
And it's a huge momentum swing in overtime. And Carter had 4 fouls, and so that was his 5th one to take him out. He's one of Duke's better players. Big guy. He's gonna be a top 10 pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah. But
yeah, this is something crazy that I thought of. This is random players and teams and scenario. But I could see that being a huge momentum swing if Duke had a 1-point lead.
You get the charge.
You get the ball back with 2 minutes left. You just, get the charge, and that's what Duke's known for, is taking charges and stuff. And but yeah, that'd be crazy if that happened in real life. I'd be so mad about that.
If Grayson Allen had stepped out, they would have got the charge because that's a hustle play.
That's a hustle play. He's a hustle guy.
But I mean, top 10 recruit, top 10 NBA draft player doing it. This is
that's crazy.
It's selfishness. Selfishness.
Yeah.
So what that is.
Hypothetical though.
Yeah, that's tough, especially because as a Duke fan, you always have a shot to win a title. So it's not
that'd be a tough momentum swing though.
Yeah.
In a close game like that, overtime.
But
stuff.
I didn't watch it. He actually just showed me the play before this, and it's a bad call. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, a bad call. Questionable, yeah.
Questionable. I don't like to blame the refs, but that's questionable call and questionable time of the game. But maybe don't let Malik Newman score 32 points. So
yeah,
it goes both ways.
Sometimes,
and I knew Duke was doomed whenever they slapped the floor while they were playing zone.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's sacrilegious. I was in disbelief when I saw that. I wanted to disown Duke right there.
That's kind of like
I've been a Duke fan too long. I couldn't disown him, but I was just in shock. I was like, did they
like
actually just do that?
that's like a step above Kansas trying to beef with Baker.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, what are you doing?
But what are you doing?
Except Duke has talent, but
And Baker, credit to the Kansas fans. Baker said, "You won one game. Go cheer on basketball."
Kansas fans. What?
Well, yeah, there were a couple of them at the football game when that happened.
Well,
But
there you go.
yeah, there were a lot of cameras that caught Baker doing stuff. But that's neither. And then, but yeah, no, he told him. He said, "Go cheer on basketball," and they did. And
Yeah, they did.
they won again. And they're in the
look
Final
where
Four.
they're at.
So
So Baker gets
everything Baker touches turns to gold.
Baker
So
gets a lot of
Browns,
crap, but
Browns drafted.
Baker's just looking out for the Big 12
Exactly.
beyond football.
Exactly.
So that's the kind of conference. And look where we go. We're the only conference to have a Final Four in football and
There we go.
basketball. And once TC goes back to Omaha, we'll have the trifecta.
Exactly.
Okay.
Could have 3 teams in this Final Four, but K-State and Tech won.
K-State. Well, I'll take that
Let's
loss.
get their
though.
butt kicked. I'll take the Villanova.
I will say this is pretty impressive that K-State beat Kentucky with 18 guys fouled out, their best player hurt. It's good to see Kentucky not pull one of those games.
It was
out.
too perfect for Kentucky. It was too perfect. Like the one seed, like the first 4 seeds above them lose in like the first and second round in their bracket. And it was just too perfectly set up for Kentucky not to choke it. And I was so happy about that because I do not like Kentucky.
Yeah, I don't like Kentucky either. So those guys will have a blast in the NBA, and we'll do this all over again next year whenever Kentucky loses to somebody.
Exactly. But that's been our show. It feels so good to be back. That's your voice. But anyways, that's our show. Wish we could go longer, but we can't because we're has-beens.